Okay, so tonight is for the Go Red for Women, the Heart Association. So tonight we're going to be focusing on the heart, opening up the heart, letting that be a space of openness and joy and all of that. So we'll focus a lot of the movement as well as like our mental and emotional selves on the heart, and if it's closed off, opening that up a little bit more. And then if you haven't been to any of my classes, welcome. I'm Allie. This is Soma Yoga, and it's just kind of a good reminder. I always like change how I talk about Soma Yoga in different words. So Soma Yoga is a gentle practice. If at any point the movement is too much for you, then either take a modification that I offer, make a modification for yourself for whatever feels the best, or you can ask me, or you can just come out of the pose completely. We're going to be using a lot of different props, so if you haven't grabbed a chair or a blanket, you can grab that. And then Soma Yoga is just the muscle re-education of our body. So we're getting into those small tissues and rewiring it back to our brain to function a little smoother. So slow and steady is the best way to practice Soma Yoga. So it doesn't have to be big, fast movements. Let's start with a little bit of breath. We'll get into the practice then, and then at the end, a nice final rest to end it all. So with the breath, you can go ahead and close your eyes or have a soft gaze down towards the floor. You can do this breath practice either sitting down in a chair on the floor, or you can lie down on your back. And just start to notice your natural breath. Maybe this is the first time today, this week, or ever that you've tuned in to your breath and actually become aware. And then start to change this automatic breath into a conscious thought. Can you take that deep inhale in through the nose? Open mouth, exhale. Let that breath out. Again, inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more like that. Inhale. And exhale. Now gently place one hand on the belly and one hand over the chest. And we're going to take a smooth inhale and a smooth exhale, but we're going to focus on 3 different parts of the body. So as you take that inhale, start to fill the belly space, then the ribs, and finally the chest. And as you exhale, you release that exhale from the chest, ribs, belly. So inhale, you start to fill the body with the breath from bottom to top. Exhale, you release top to bottom. Again, inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, bottom to top 2 more times. Exhale, top to bottom. Last breath like this. Returning to your natural breath. And then let's set an intention for your practice. So an intention is just a thought of goodwill. And so maybe it's like, I am joyful, I am moving, I am bettering my health, or I'm bettering my heart. Just one short, simple phrase. And let that stick with you for the next hour. If at any time the mind starts to wander to something besides this practice, bring that thought back in to refocus yourself. If you're sitting down, you can start to make your way onto your back, on your mat. So as you start to lie down on your back, you can either have the knees bent with your feet on the floor, or you can have the legs long on your mat. And start to get comfortable. Maybe you have to shift the hips from side to side, or shimmy the shoulders. And then take a little assessment of where you're at right now. How does the body feel? Are the hips even and comfortable? Does the spine feel like it's in alignment? Or does it feel a little wonky? What about the heart? Do you feel like your chest is caving in on the heart? The shoulders rolled towards the heart? And then how do you feel emotionally? Is your heart heavy? Or does it feel bright and loving? Maybe throughout the practice, if your heart is feeling a little bit of like trapped or closed off, as we go through these practices and we start to release these muscles surrounding the heart and in the body, you can feel those layers of protection coming off the heart, and letting yourself be a little bit more open and receptive to love and joy, whatever other emotions you feel with your heart. So go ahead and bend the knees, bringing the feet on the floor. And we're going to come into a practice that's called arch and flatten. And I start most of my practices with this movement. And it's going to start with the hips. So maybe you place your hands on your hip bones here, right above the legs. And the first one we're going to do is going to be the arch. So you're going to start to press your tailbone down towards the floor. I'm going to stand up so that you guys can see me, but you're going to stay lying down. You're going to start to press your tailbone towards the floor like you're trying to press your butt back. The hips are going to roll forward towards the knees, and you're going to feel this small arch in the low of your back. And then the hips are going to come back to neutral, back to the starting spot, and the spine is going to unravel. So again, tilt the tailbone back, hips come forward, and you have this small arch. It doesn't have to be a big, huge arch. It can be a micro movement. But you're going to feel those muscles along the back start to contract, get a little bit tighter. And then easy does it back to neutral. A couple more times. Press the tailbone. Feel those hips rise up towards the knees, or tilt. You have this rainbow of the arch. And then back down nice and slow. One more time, coming into that arch. And as you release from this arch, challenge yourself to see how slow you can take this movement. Good. Let yourself relax. So we do this arch and flatten to find our neutral pelvis. The way that it naturally sits to support our body, to support our spine and our legs coming from both ends of the hips. Go ahead and gently press the feet into the floor. Knees are still bent. Just a little foot press, like you're pressing your feet into sand. And then release that foot press. And let's take this movement in the opposite direction. So this time we're coming into what's called the flatten. You're going to pretend like you're tucking your tail between your leg. And as you do that, you're going to feel the pelvis tilt in the opposite way. Like you're about to do a sit-up, you feel the belly muscles contract. And then back down, hips float, belly releases. Again, tuck the pelvis, contract the belly muscles, hips come back to neutral, spine follows. Completely relax before you start again. Contract the belly muscles, spine is long, and release. One more time. Great. Resting here. Again, pressing the feet into the floor. As you do that, maybe you feel enough energy to slightly lift the hips off the floor, coming into a mini bridge. Otherwise, the foot press is great. Easy does it. Release the foot press or the mini bridge. And ask yourself how the hips feel now after doing that arch and flatten. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different, or maybe you just have a little bit more awareness of the hips. Good. Okay, so we're still on your back, and we're gonna bring our attention to the shoulders. So as we go up to the shoulders, you're gonna feel this like contraction and stretch as well across the heart and across the chest. So that's going to be our focus today, the front of our body in that heart space area as we move the arms and the shoulders. On your back, I want you to bring your arms out wide into like a T. And feel how that is on your heart. Does it feel nice to have these arms out wide, like you're open to receive? Or does it feel a little bit scary? And then, easy does it, bring the arms across and give yourself a little bit of a hug. And as you do that, you feel the chest get a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter. Maybe it feels safe. Maybe it feels a little bit constrictive. And then let's just start to open up again and go back and forth between open and closed chest and arms. and start to internalize what feels the best in your body. Noticing the muscles from the pecs across the chest and the heart as you slowly move open and shut. Maybe it feels good to link your breath with movement. So as you take that inhale, you open up your arms, let everything in. Exhale, start to close it off. Inhale. Exhale. Couple more. Moving with what feels good in your body. Couple more. And then I want you to pause and see if you can tune in to the heart. All right. Nice and slow. We're going to start to make our way to a chair. So however it's easiest for you to go from laying on your back to standing to sitting in the chair, go ahead and find your chair. And as you start to make your way into your chair, you can scoot to the edge of your chair. Have a nice tall spine without overextending it. Just a nice relaxed sitting pose. Find your legs at a 90-degree angle. If you have shorter legs where it's difficult to maybe reach the floor, or you want a little bit of cushion under the feet, you can always shove your blanket under the soles of your feet. And then we're going to come back to the shoulders and see if we can release just a little bit more in the chest and the shoulders. So start to lift those shoulders up towards the ears, and then nice and slow, bring them back down. Imagine your shoulders are going up an elevator, super slow. If it's difficult to do both shoulders at the same time, you can just focus on one shoulder. But sometimes, or oftentimes in our shoulders, we hold a lot of stress and tension. And so as you are moving these shoulders, it might not be the smoothest of movements. You might feel some jerky motions in there, and that's okay. But see if you can take it a little bit slower, maybe a little bit smaller movements, not so high up towards the ears, and smooth those movements out. Let those muscles relax. One more time up. And then we're going to bring the shoulders down. So it's going to feel like someone's pressing down on your shoulders, and then let them relax back to natural. Press them down. Feel that stretch in the neck, and let it relax. One more time. Good. And then start to be curious. Explore it up and down, passing through neutral as you let the shoulders drop. Maybe you notice that one shoulder is different than the other. Coming back to neutral shoulders. When you're ready, we're going to go into another movement. We're going to come into a twist. So this is just another great way to get the heart opened up. I want you to bring your arms or your hands together at your heart center. Maybe you close the eyes here, recenter, come back to that intention. And then let's start to twist towards the right. Open up that right shoulder. Look over the right shoulder. Head comes back to center. Shoulders come back to center. Let's go towards the right again. Shoulders twist. Feel each vertebrae twist on top of another. Open up the head. Head comes back. Chest and shoulders come back. One more time towards the right. Twist it open. Back to center. Okay. Let's go towards the left. Doing that same twist. Twisting towards the left. Open up the left. Head, neck. Back to center. Last time. I lied, we're gonna do one more. Good. Alright, shake it out. Notice how the spine feels. If it feels good, we're gonna add on to the twist to open up that chest a little bit more. So go ahead and bring the arms out. You can gently touch the hands together. We're gonna open up this right arm as we twist the spine. Open up the head and neck towards that right shoulder. Left arm is staying in the center. Come back with the right arm, chest, spine, head. 2 more times. Open up. Feel the difference in the chest here as it starts to open up. Slowly back together. Last one. Close it back up. Take it the other way. Open up the left arm. Feel the chest open. Head opens towards the left shoulder. Close the twist. 2 more times. Close. Pause at the twist. Open it up. Feel that open chest. Come back to center. And then maybe here, we open up the arms. Feel that chest open up and close. 2 more times. Open, close. Last one. Good. Relax. Shake it out. The spine is nice and loose. We've gone in a lot of directions with the spine, opening up the chest in multiple directions as well. We are going to come back into that same movement that we started with, the arch and flatten, but do it in the chair and make the movement a little bit bigger. So now it's called cat-cow. the classic yoga pose, cat-cow. So I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. You can stay facing forward in your chair. We're going to come into that cow pose where we're going to arch the back. We're going to roll the pelvis forward so that these hip bones start to point towards the knees, and you're going to have this arch in your back. And as you do that, let's add the shoulders. Bring the shoulders back and open up the head. And here, the chest is nice and open. You can feel the heart shining up towards the ceiling. And then back to neutral. Let's do that one 2 more times. Roll the pelvis, the spine follows, shoulders open. Maybe you look up at the head if that feels comfortable, and you feel the chest open. Hips, spine, shoulders back to neutral. Last time. Roll to that front end of your sit bones. Maybe you can feel the sit bones, and you're going to roll to the front edge of those. Find your little arch. Shine open the chest. Relax. Let's go the other way. You're going to start to tuck the tailbone. The pelvis is going to roll backwards. The hip bones are coming towards the back. And this time you can start to curl the spine. So like you're coming into a ball. Excuse me. And maybe you drop the chin towards the chest. Back to neutral. Again, roll the pelvis under, come into this cat. And here you feel protected. This is like safe, a retreat inward. And slowly come out of it. One last time, come in. And let yourself emerge out of it to neutral. And then you can take it back and forth between this cat, open up the heart, neutral, cow. And both movements are needed to find balance. Sometimes it feels really good to go inward, to close off yourself and to close off your heart and take a little break. That's needed. But it's also needed to open up, to let yourself receive in. So, as we go back and forth between these two, we find our neutral for now, for this moment. It could be different tomorrow or next week, but what does your natural neutral feel like today? Do a couple more each way. Good. Alright. So we're going to start to set the chair aside, and we're going to come on to our bellies. Now I know it can be uncomfortable to lie on your belly, so when I lie on my belly, I like to either lie on a couple of pillows or a blanket. And when I lie on the blanket, I'm going to have the blanket go from my shoulders down to my hips. That is on my torso. If you have some girls and it's uncomfortable, you can bring the blanket down under like your bra line so that your spine is neutral. So it could be more comfortable if you have an even landscape all the way down. As you come onto your belly, It might be comfortable for you to rest your forehead on a stacked fist or your hands one top of the other. We're going to come into some back bends, so don't run away. I promise they're not like a big back bend that you would see in gymnastics, but it will start to strengthen the muscles on your backside, as well as opening up the chest and the heart area. Once you're on the floor, resting here in your crocodile pose, I want you to start to bring your elbows under your shoulders. And if you're letting your shoulders come towards your ears, start to let those grow away from each other. And firmly press the hands and the forearms on the mat. So if you can't see me, I'm lifting away, pressing into the floor. And here, maybe let the heart shine a little bit. And then easy does it, bring it back down. Again, elbows under the shoulders, hands are spread wide. Bring the shoulders away from the ears. And press the hands into the ground. So this is Sphinx pose, opening up the heart. Bring it back down. This time we're going to let the arms come down by our side. Let the head rest. And just lift the head now. Everything else is relaxed, but the head lifts off the floor and then back down. 2 more times. Just lift the head. Feel those muscles in the neck contract. And then bring it back down. Last one. Okay. Start to squeeze the shoulders together. So you're squeezing towards the back of the heart. Lift from the heart area. The head comes with it. The arms fly off the ground. So you should have your neck in alignment with the rest of your spine, and then lower back down. Squeeze the shoulders. Lift from behind the heart. Head comes up with the spine, and then back down. Relax the upper body. So you should be lying all the way on the ground. I'm just looking up at you so you can hear me. I want you to squeeze your glutes. Pretend there's like a dollar bill between the cheeks. Squeeze the glutes. And then maybe you squeeze the thighs, ankles, feet together. And if you've got that, then maybe you lift the legs off the ground. Back down. Relax the legs, relax the glutes. Again, squeeze the glutes, thighs, ankles, feet. Lift it up and back down. Relax. Let's put the top half and the bottom half together. So the arms are by your side. You're going to start to squeeze the shoulders. As you squeeze the shoulders, you squeeze the glutes. And you start to lift everything off. Exhale, back down. One more time. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the glutes. Lift up, feel that chest open up. Exhale, back down. Good. We're going to come onto our back. So you can either roll onto your back or push yourself up and come onto your back. And time is flying, so we have just a couple more poses to do on our back before we come into Shavasana. So on our back, knees are bent, and I want you to have your feet just a little bit wider than hip distance. So maybe if you have a yoga mat or a towel, you can have your feet just about to the edge of that mat. Check back in with your hips. And then check back in with your heart. What is a comfortable position for you to have your heart space in? Okay, we're going to come into a practice called flower. And I literally want you to imagine a flower starting in its closed position, opening up, and then going back and forth between the two phases. And so when we do this, we're going to have our feet in this little wide stance and our arms kind of in a low V. And we're going to start with the arms as a rolling pin. So imagine your arm all the way from the shoulder to the fingertips is a rolling pin, and it rolls from the shoulder all together as one. And we're going to start to roll the shoulders down. The thumbs are going to come down towards the heels, and you're going to feel the shoulders come in towards the chest. So the chest gets a little bit tighter. And as you do this, you can drop the knees in towards one another. Bring the thumbs up towards the ceiling, shoulders relax, knees come towards the ceiling. Now start to bring the shoulder blades to kiss the spine. As you do that, the arms open up, thumbs point up towards your ears, and the knees fall slightly out. So now you're nice and open. Maybe you feel a small arch in your small of your back. Thumbs point up towards the ceiling, thumbs up towards the ceiling. And now we come in. Shoulders come in towards the chest. Thumbs point down. The knees come in towards each other. So now you feel this slight contraction of the belly inward. Everything points up towards the ceiling. Roll the thumbs up towards the head. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards the back. Slightly open the knees. Everything points up towards the ceiling. Roll the thumbs down, shoulders come in towards the chest, knees come in. Up towards the ceiling. Shoulder blades towards the back, thumbs up towards the ears, legs open. And I want you to go back and forth between the two. Maybe you change up some of the movement. Maybe you do what feels good in your body. So if it's not that exact same move, that's fine. Just go with what feels good. One more time each way. And then as you're here, we're gonna come into a reclined butterfly. So if you have like pillows by you, you can grab those. But you're gonna bring the soles of the feet together and you're gonna let the knees fall out. So I like to put like a blanket or a pillow under my knees for a little extra support so that they don't have to feel like they need to go all the way to the floor. And we're gonna just rest here. Maybe it feels nice and comforting to have one hand on your belly and one hand rest on your chest. And we're just gonna stay here for a couple breaths. If it's uncomfortable, come out of it or set yourself up with some extra props. Props are your best friend. Three more breaths here. Good. We're gonna come into one more supported pose. And I'm gonna give you a couple different options. So pick what feels best for you. It's gonna be legs up the wall or legs up the chair. And so we do this because it's an inversion and we essentially want to get our heart elevated. And so to do that, we're either going to let our legs extend up the wall. If this is comfortable with the booty nice and close, you can grab a pillow or a blanket and let that under the hips. So here now you have the heart or the hips above the heart, and you can let yourself rest here. Or you can, if you have your chair or you're using a couch, you can let the legs rest here. And you can also do the same thing with a blanket or a pillow maybe under your hips. So find one of those four positions that's comfortable for you to rest in. And for this inversion, we're going to hold it for about a minute. So if at any point it becomes uncomfortable, then just find your way out of it. And eventually you can work your way up to it. And sometimes that heart appreciates the extra help to get that blood from the feet and below the heart back up to the heart to recirculate it. This is also a really good pose to do before you go to sleep. And it's just going to start to slow that nervous system down. Good. Alright, from here, we're going to find our final rest pose. So it's typical for people to lie on their backs. You can lie on your back without any props. I like to have a pillow or a big thick blanket tucked behind my knees. You could use a pillow. You could use something over your eyes. You can cover yourself up with a blanket. If it's uncomfortable to lie on your back, you can lie on your belly or your side, or even sit in a chair. But I'm gonna shut the lights off. You can shut your lights off if they're still on. Maybe you have some soft music or essential oils or a candle that you like. And I will take you through a meditation, let you rest in silence for a little bit, and then I will take you out of it. So as you start to make yourself comfortable on the floor or in your chair, start to notice your natural breath. With each breath you take, you're able to find a deeper sense of relaxation. I want you to start to bring your attention to the outermost layer of your skin. And with this skin, with this layer of your body, you start to imagine a color. And with this color, you associate a feeling, an emotion. And start to take it a layer deeper. This imaginary sense of layers. Imagining yourself like petals coming out of a flower, or the layers of an onion. And as you start to peel back those layers, you notice the different colors and the different emotions that come with each layer. Maybe some of the layers peel back easily. It wasn't much holding on. Maybe it was just a past memory or a past feeling that was fleeting. Or maybe you get to an emotion or a layer that was a difficult memory, or maybe it was a long period of your life. It's a little difficult to peel back that layer, or to pierce through that layer. I want you to keep imagining yourself rifling through the layers until you eventually get to the center of your heart. Maybe it takes a couple of layers of thinking to get through. Maybe it takes a while. Ask yourself, why have I built up so many layers? Are these layers helping protect me? Or maybe ask yourself, have these layers served their purpose and you're able to let go, to shed that layer? And whenever you get to that center of your heart, you let the center of your heart shine bright. Maybe a golden, sparkling color, or whatever color of your choice. And you tell yourself, I am open to receiving all the good this world has to offer me. I am open to receiving all the good the world has to offer me. I am open to all the good this world has to offer me. And let all those good things trickle in, feeling how those emotions make you feel. to deepen your inhale and exhale, making those breaths deeper and deeper. Wiggling the toes and the fingers, bringing some movement into the body. And eventually rolling onto your side, pausing there for a few breaths before you find yourself in a seated position, either on the floor or in your chair. And as you start to get there, just tune in with the top emotion that you're feeling right now. And know that if you're feeling some different emotions or more heightened emotions from this past hour, that's completely normal. And I want you to find some contentment, non-judgment in whatever emotion you're feeling. And have it just be an emotion. Nothing else. It doesn't need a reaction. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Take an inhale in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. I wish you all love, light, and happiness. Namaste. Thank you guys all so much for practicing with me tonight. If you guys are looking for this recording,